would you look at that? Minnesota liberal politician who campaigned to dismantle the police department falls victim to carjacking and assault. Now calls for tougher juvenile penalties. Well done, diverse female character, because of course she is XX Democratic and she is no Euro. What gave it away? By the way, this is supposed to be a real picture. It's not photoshopped. Good lord, let's make it disappear. I don't need to elaborate on this story, do I? Every single one of you watching can guess the details to pinpoint accuracy, I would imagine, all through the phrase juvenile penalties. You all know which demographic they're talking about because if you look at her Facebook post, there is no mention of anything other than they were armed and young, which again tells you which demographic it is. And of course, what do they blame? Oh, illegal guns, because yeah, that's the real problem here. You know, if you've had guns for the entire history of your nation, never had massive gun problems, well, except for the Volstead Act that was brought about through government intervention, the Muriel Bow lift of the 1980s, also government intervention, and now this pathetically stupid feminine idea of rehabilitation because those dim-witted airheads know absolutely nothing about the nature of reality at all. Again, government intervention, something of a theme emerging here. It couldn't possibly be anything else. England has the same problems, and they have no guns. You know, I can't help but look back at what Dr. Schweitzer said in Africa Notebook. You must always retain the higher rank, never fraternize with them as your equals, or they will destroy you. Why? Because they don't think like you do. Your doctrine of equality is seen as a weakness. 1932, that was written. There is no talk of marriage, no talk of culture, no talk of education. And we can see that philosophy being totally ignored almost 100 years later across 3 different continents. Same group, same set of problems. I wonder what one could possibly conclude from that, except maybe that ignoring reality for the sake of politics is stupid and fatal to civilization. And yes, I know, it is not all of Group B. There are some wise ones. They watch this channel. Hi, how are you guys doing? In fact, some of them told me I don't go hard enough. Apparently, I'm pulling my punches. But yeah, either the wiser ones or those that somehow accumulate money, especially through nefarious purposes, suddenly when it comes to their own wealth, it seems to be a total contrast to their politics. I wonder what group I could possibly be referring to. Oh wait, you mean those of Group B who exploited their own to enrich themselves? No, that could never happen ever. And here I was told diversity is our strength, yet even a lack of it also produces the same set of problem amongst a certain demographic. Whatever could that mean, I wonder? But speaking of politics that destroy civilization, democracy, perfect segue. In case you guys haven't noticed this, I am an absolute monarchist, and I despise democracy because it's cringe and gay. A system of government where the people get to choose from a group of greased-up goons who rarely ever do the will of the people and exist purely to enrich themselves, as accountability exists not for the stupid people who vote for civilization-reducing wreckage, and neither for the stupid representatives who pass the civilization-reducing wreckage. Meanwhile, public opinion is manipulated by nefarious nebulous forces not officially connected to the state apparatus, as responsibility is diffused over an ever-enlarging state bureaucracy that keeps the state growing fatter, much like Nancy Pelosi's plastic surgery bill. How's that for a summation? Pretty good? A system where the stupid get to choose from the stupider who pass the stupidest policies. But never mind any of that, because we can always just vote harder next time. What a great system of government we have devised. Freaking cope harder. But as a continuation from yesterday's video with regard to political behavior, as well as the question of how much of what you learn and experience can you explore without becoming a grifter, once you apply that to the realm of politics, you get a whole different ballgame. When it comes to politics, there's always at least 3 cross-sections to keep in mind. Politicians want to stay in power, what they can and can't do, and the ramifications of those actions across the short and long term. Always keep those 3 things in mind, because here's the skinny. Politicians will damn near always do something that benefits them in the short term, even if it damages the country in the long term, because they don't care, they'll be out of office. Same on the flip side, they will never do something that's necessary for the long-term health of the nation, but damages them in the short term, because they won't be around to reap the benefits of the long term. Voters do not focus on the long term. This is one of the reasons to have a monarch, because they have low time preference, they have long reigns. Someone who runs on stints is more concerned with getting re-elected than actually running the nation. Alexander Hamilton alluded to this, hence why he wanted the president to serve for life. Someone who is constantly looking over their shoulder does not have a lot of political maneuverability. Someone who does will have much more confidence to make difficult decisions when they are guaranteed support. Basic Machiavelli. Now, the reason I bring all this up, apply this to our diverse democratic bent over here. Before, she was happily cheering on defunding the police, which should instantly disqualify you from ever interacting with any political body in any capacity. Any arena where you receive payment from the state, right down to voting, you are to be stripped of every capacity to interface with the state apparatus because you are dangerously stupid. Secondly, anyone should be able to exercise some common sense and go, anyone who thinks the idea of making crime easier to commit during a massive spike in crime is out of their freaking minds, and no, I have to overrule my constituents because they are clearly idiots. The business mantra of the customer is always right does not apply to politics, for that way lies sheer madness, as we can see here.
Look at all these niggas.
Thank you, Kevin. Which brings us to an interesting dilemma, because this NIMBY dickhead had no problem riding the wave and destroying law and order on behalf of the idiots who put her ilk into office. Oh, but the second the stupidity of those policies come back to bite, oh no. Now the will of the morons need to be subverted. Now the will of the people needs to piss off, because now the problem affected her. Seriously, repeal the 19th Amendment. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.